What's up, everyone? Bass here. I hope everyone has had a great weekend. So some great news out of Packers camp today. David Bakhtiari is officially off the PUP and has begun practicing. The tweet was put out earlier here by Ian Rappaport, and it states, "Big step for the Packers. Coach Matt LaFleur tells reporters that left tackle David Bakhtiari is coming off the PUP list and will do individual drills." And this is a big step in the right direction, obviously. Signs are pointing to David Bakhtiari potentially being ready week one. Matt LaFleur obviously hasn't committed to that. He's taking it one step at a time, and rightfully so. We've seen these last almost 2 years of David Bakhtiari with his torn ACL. We've seen him come back in Detroit for 3 drives and then never again. So obviously you take it one step at a time in this situation, but it has looked a lot better for David Bakhtiari potentially playing week one. And as I said, it's been a super long road for David Bakhtiari, nearly 600 days, 598 days to be exact, since he originally tore his ACL. 3 procedures later, and he's seemingly finally getting back to 100%. And Matt LaFleur said, quote, "He's been making really good progress, and mentally I think he's in a very good place as well. He's worked his tail off for a long time now to get to this point." And as the tweet stated, he's just in individual drills right now. Obviously, they're not going to rush him straight into team drills. So obviously, they're easing him into things as they should be. As we saw what we saw last year, Week 18 to Detroit, threw him in there. We thought it was on a pitch count. That's why he only played 3 drives. That was not the case. He ended up with 96 cc's of fluid in his knee, and that's kind of been the problem ever since that torn ACL. After the procedure is the fluid collecting up in his knee, and that's kind of always been the problem. So hopefully that's not an issue anymore. Because back in January, David Bakhtiari was talking about this sort of thing, all the fluid collecting in his knee, and he said structurally his knee is perfectly fine, and that was back in January. So between his ACL and his meniscus and whatever else was going on in there, it is structurally okay, and I think it was just a fluid thing. So hopefully that doesn't occur again when he starts getting into the full, practice, into team drills, and potentially week one. Hopefully that doesn't flare up again. But getting both David Bakhtiari back and Elton Jenkins back week one would be huge. Obviously, the Packers are going against a good pass rush in the Minnesota Vikings. We know how Zadarius Smith plays. Danielle Hunter is a very good player. So having both of these guys back would be awesome, because Elton Jenkins will likely play right tackle to start. We'll see exactly what happens, but those are the guys that are obviously going to be blocking the best edge rushers in Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith. So you definitely need a good left tackle and a good right tackle in this league to be successful. And as I said, we'll see exactly what happens. The Packers could very well put Elton Jenkins back to left guard or right guard, move John Runyon to the right guard, keep Josh Nijman in at right tackle. There's a lot of different things they could do. So it's going to be very interesting to see what that offensive line combination is week one, but at the end of the day, they're going to put their 5 best guys out there. In other injury news today, Christian Watson also started practicing in the team drills. As we saw the past week, he came off the PUP, he started practicing in the individuals, and we saw him pregame for the Saints game. He was warming up with his pads on. This week and today in this practice, he finally started practicing in team drills and even caught a few passes from Aaron Rodgers, which is good. They need to get on the same page quickly, because obviously Aaron Rodgers needed to be on the same page with this guy. You need to be on the same report, or you're not going to be on the field. So hopefully Christian Watson, we might see him this upcoming preseason game versus Kansas City. So we'll see exactly what happens. We'll also see if any of the starters play, and if that's the case, obviously you want these receivers to get some live snaps with Aaron Rodgers. And adding Christian Watson into the mix week one will be huge as well if he is ready to go week one. Adding a speedy, deep threat wide receiver into this offense definitely needs someone like that. And although Romeo Doubs has been pretty much that guy, he's been a very good receiver this entirety of training camp. You can't have too much talent and too much speed in that wide receiver room, so having both of them would be very, very big week one. As for roster updates for the Green Bay Packers today, they have also cut 2 players today, bringing their roster down to 83 players. The roster has to be down to 80 players this coming Tuesday. That's when the deadline is. They've decided to cut outside linebacker Chauncey Manac and center Ty Clary, so we'll see 3 more cuts in the next coming days as the roster gets thinner and thinner and closer to that 53-man mark. So we'll see who those 3 players end up being. But that is all the Packers news I have for today. Today was a big day for a couple guys returning from injury. Obviously, David Bakhtiari and Christian Watson could be huge pieces in this offense. So getting these 2 guys back in some capacity. Robert Tonyan has been doing good too. He's been running routes with Aaron Rodgers today as well. So getting all these pieces back at the right time seems like the Packers are finally getting to that healthy point for week one. But that about does it for this video. If you want more Packers news analysis and updates, please consider going down, clicking the subscribe button. I upload pretty much every day, everything Packers. So if that does interest you, click subscribe. Also turn on post notifications to not miss any of the videos. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.